Damn. Okay. Okay. All right. You're gonna tell me two things. One about Belize, the background, you and Belize, how that all. I don't know, man. Tell me the background with that, and then you're gonna go into joining Marine Corps and what's that all about. Give me some content. That's all I'm trying to say.
Good stuff.
That good. Tell me something about Belize that most people don't know about.
Aside from the gang background and tourist paradise,
Yeah, I thought it was just nice.
it's nice when you're just there for the tourist attraction. But if you're planning on staying, you need to know who you're gonna stay with, because if you associate with the wrong people, your name's just gonna go on this blacklist for one of the two gangs that run the country.
Have you ever experienced that?
Well, my dad's a DJ in the main city of the country, and he knows a lot of people while growing up. So one day, he got word from one of these guys from the gang members, giving him a warning that, hey, your son's hanging out with the wrong people. Not me, but my older brother. He's older than me by 1 year. He's hanging out with the wrong people, and we're gonna go do a drive-by around this place sometime tomorrow afternoon. I'm just giving you a heads up. If he's still there, that's his fault. So, yeah.
Was he still there?
Nah. My dad held him in for a day. The drive-by went as planned. They got the guy they were looking for. It's just crazy, though.
So your brother that's currently in Washington, right?
No. I have a brother that dropped out of high school that still lives in Belize.
Dang. So how'd you get from Belize to America? Like, what was the plan behind that?
So, right before I finished high school, my dad had a plan to get me out here to do university because there's more opportunities out here, and it would be safer for me to be out here than stay in Belize, because any young man around 16 to early 20s is in danger of just being a target by one of the gangs, because every so often the gangs would have like this initiation process where you just go by, kill someone, and then that's it. Yeah, crazy.
Do you have any, or do you have currently any friends involved in all that?
Gang members? Not really. I only speak to like one or two guys down there. My cousin's down there, and my friend from high school. That's about it. I rarely even speak to my older brother that still lives there.
Oh, snap.
Can't tell you what he's been doing for the past 3-4 years.
And then that's by choice?
That's by his choice. I know he lives with his girl though.
So if you could go back, would you go back, or is America somewhat fruitful at the moment?
America is definitely more fruitful, because if I go back there, there's not really much there. Because then what I'm studying here won't be as useful down there. I'd probably have to translate from forensics to some kind of job inside the hospital.
Yeah.
Forensics isn't big out there. If you shoot someone, you kill them, it's very, very unlikely they'll find you unless someone saw.
So you think by going into forensics, what's the background behind that? Or just trying to get into it because you saw CSI?
So
CSI is a good show.
It is a good show. I have no issue studying whatever's been thrown at me. I just did science because it's my favorite subject. I enjoy doing science. And I had a few small talk with my parents about my future in terms of school, and they suggested, why don't I try out CSI, forensics, because CSI. Try out forensics because it's a good job. It'll pay me well, and then I have the security behind the job.
Makes sense. All right, Marine Corps, you're in it. How'd you get into it?
Went over to an RS sometime after doing about 2 years of college. I was tired of just going to school every day. And a friend suggested that I head over to the RS with him, try it out. So I walked over to that RS, did a bit of research, read some books, took the, the test.
Either
Can't remember what it's called.
ASVAB.
ASVAB. Took the ASVAB. Score came out really good, but I told him I'd wait on anything, so I went back home. Following day, a friend came over like super early in the morning. Him and I think 2 sergeants from the RS. So the sergeants were having a conversation with my mom, and he went straight to my room to wake me up. Later that day, I went back down to the RS, talked to them a bit more. I signed up in the training program, and then closer to my shipping date, my buddy had already left, and turns out he didn't finish the initial training, so he got kicked out. I didn't see him until after I finished my initial training, and I talked to him about it. Long story though, but so I was going into this training by myself, and probably like 3-4 days before I left for initial training, I found a guy that was also shipping out for my exact same shipping date. Didn't even know he was going to the RS for initial training. So the day of, I left. Turns out he got kicked out of the initial training. The whole leaving with me, he got delayed. So now he's not in. He has to go through all the paperwork again because medical issues. But I was just off to boot camp by myself. Didn't know anyone there. There was still like 5 guys from my RS, but I had no idea who they were because I only went to my RS for the trainings on Saturdays.
Was it hard, easy?
The training?
Yeah.
Not really. The hardest thing I did was actually nothing there was really physically demanding. It was pretty easy. That's coming from a guy that did nothing beside computer work all day. I had like no exercise prior to joining that RS and doing the Saturday workouts.
So we're talking about the training that the RS provided, or are we talking about boot camp?
The training that the RS provided
Okay.
was pretty easy. 1.5 miles every 2 weeks. Push-ups, pull-ups, crunches. Sometimes we did Indian runs.
Yeah.
We had 2 times where drill instructors would come and they'd give us a whole rundown of just the games where you run back and forth, stop, school circle, back and forth. So no incentive training until I got to boot camp.
Do you think that sort of training helped you for boot camp?
The run especially, because I had a hard time just doing the 1.5 miles in one single go. Took me about 3 times before I could do it. And I think my best time at that point was like 11 because I never really pushed for anything longer than 1.5 miles.
What was the toughest part about boot camp?
So, about 2 weeks into boot camp, I had this issue with one of my wrists. I had no idea how I got there. I didn't know what I did wrong. Probably improper form while doing workouts because, as I said before, I don't do any kind of physical exercise. So it might just be the way I lift weights, barbells, because I do this flick of my wrist whenever I'm lifting something that's a bit too heavy.
Yeah.
Might just be from scrubbing the floors with the Scotch brush. I don't know, I can't really tell you, but going off from there, closer to the end of training, when we had to do the crucible, we had to do these log runs where you have to hold the log and then push up with the log and lift the log over your head. And at that point, my second wrist also had the same issue as my first wrist, but to a lesser degree. So holding the log in this position was very unbearable, but I couldn't drop the log because I'm already here. I only had like a week left before I was done. This was the second day of the crucible, so I'm just there bawling my eyes out, trying to hold this log in place, trying to get through this training. Because it's not just me lifting the log, it's me and 2 other guys. Because if I were to drop the log, we'd have to start the exercise all over again. Our whole little stick that was there holding up these logs. So I was just there crying. So close to giving up, I swear. Tears coming down my eyes. Holding up this log.
So how long have you been in?
I joined 2017, June 1st, finished September 1st, 2017, stayed back in MCRD because I was injured from my wrist until about mid-January before I went to MCT.
Any regrets yet?
Not really. I've been thinking about why I didn't go active instead of reserve, but then this whole wrist thing, I don't know if it would have affected me while being active. Maybe reserve was a better option. I'm still thinking about it.
Okay. That's my man right there. From Belize. The gangster's paradise. Shit, that's the interview, man. That's a wrap. Congratulations, you're about to be on YouTube somewhere.